So the other day I was scrolling through my YouTube homepage and I came across a lot of game development videos. I've always wanted to make my own game, but I've never really got around to it. However, this time I'm actually going to make my own game. Now, I have actually made a game before, however it was in Roblox and it has the best graphics you've ever seen. Bruh. However, Roblox uses a coding language called Lua, and Unity uses C#. It's kind of similar. They've got dots, that's kind of my interpretation of it all. But today I'm going to try to recreate Flappy Bird inside of Unity with zero coding knowledge and zero game making knowledge at all. So I started off by creating the sprites. I created 5 total sprites, 1 background, 1 ground, 2 pipes, and a bird. I didn't put too much detail into the art because I didn't want to be perfect. I wanted it to be a little bit wonky just to remind me that this is my first game. Once I had created all the sprites, it was time to open up Unity and... yeah, let's just say my computer didn't like Unity too much. Once my computer had come out of its 2-hour meltdown, I was able to open up Unity and import my sprites. So when I exported the sprites, I thought they had to be in a particular order, but I don't know, I'm just some idiot. I know I'm gonna get bullied for not knowing what sprites are, but hey, just let's leave me alone, right? I'm new to this whole game dev thing. Once I added the bird in the background into the workspace, I added a rigid body 2D onto the bird, and I was able to play test my game for the very first time. After my bird took a massive tumble, I then added a collider onto the bird and a box collider onto the ground so that my bird couldn't go through the ground. Once I added the colliders, the basic physics on the game were done. Now this means that we can move into some much cooler stuff like movement. Because this is my first game and I just want to finish it, I'm not going to add the flapping of the wings just to make this a bit easier for myself. My bird is actually looking like a bird. I then added a script so that every time the mouse button was clicked, the bird would go up. This makes it so the player can change the bird's height to go through the pipes. Once this was done, I was able to make another script so that the ground would move and the bird in the background would just stay still. Now this is a core mechanic for the game, so I have to get this right. I then tested the moving ground and it all worked perfectly. Once I added the second screen, I then made a script so that when the ground goes past the screen, it will automatically respawn in front of it, creating an endless loop of ground. I then tested the ground and it all worked, however there was a gap in between the ground when it would respawn. I still haven't fixed this, so if anyone knows how to fix it, drop it in the comments below. I then imported the pipes, and before anyone gets triggered, yes, the shadow is on the opposite side, but you know what, it's fine. This game isn't made to look like it was made by a AAA studio. I then added a parent for the pipes so that they would have an equal distance throughout the entire game. I then tested the pipe spawn and it all worked. This is kinda where I got to see what the finished game would actually look like. This is where the game changed from looking like a box to looking like it was made in Windows Movie Maker. I then came across an issue with the pipes and the ground running on the same script. As we had made the ground respawn every time it passes the screen, the pipes were trying to do the same thing, however they didn't have a collider, so it just gave out an error. This was an easy fix with a line of code that told the game to only run this part of the script if the object was tagged with ground. I then created a pipe spawner so that the game would automatically spawn pipes in. I then created a code so that the game would spawn the pipes in at a random height. Once the height was in, I was able to make a timer so that the pipes would spawn in consistently. Once I had finished this part of the script, I then obviously had the spawner in the stage, so I quickly moved it out of the way and gave it a quick playtest. Now that the pipes were spawning in, they just kept spawning in, meaning that eventually the game would just lag out. The solution to this was to add a script that destroyed the pipes once they had passed the screen. Once the pipes were done, the base game was finished, and now all we had to do was add a scoreboard and a replay system. The scoreboard was easy to add as all I had to do was make a canvas and add some text on top of the screen. I then created a box collider that went in between the pipes. Once the collider was in, I then made a script to tell the game when the bird would hit that collider, it would print score up. I then created another script to update the score every time that collider was hit. I then referenced the score script so that the two scripts would work together to make the game work properly. I then gave the game another playtest, however the pipes didn't have any colliders. I then added a collider onto the pipes and added a script so that the game would pause every time the bird would die. Once the pipes were finished, I then added a replay button so that the player could restart the game when it finished. And just like that, the entire game was finished. I then gave it a playthrough to make sure that everything worked as intended. And that's it, that's the first game that I have ever made. Thank you guys so much for watching. If there's anything that you would change in this game, comment it down below. I would love to hear what you would do. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys all in my next video. Peace.